Well, hey guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome to my stream and chapter 5. Working on that guy there. That is our 2021 Ford Bronco by AMT. We'll run the intro. Yeah. We'll get right into it. Okay guys, we're back and we're going to continue on the build. Let's see. Basically last time we spent most of it just focusing on the body and getting the interior bits kind of put together in there, and to get the hood on, and so we got that all done, and that's all finished now, right? So afterwards I did a little bit of work. I did a little work on the grill, and I got the headlights put in there. It's a real simple thing. I'll just show you guys. So I'll change the camera here so you can get a look at it and see what's going on. Okay, so there's our grill, okay, with the headlights in there. It's very simple process. You put a clear lens down and then you put the chrome down over top of it. There's a couple little pegs on each side. If my camera will focus, cooperate here, camera. We got a couple of little pegs that go into these little holes right here and here. Okay, now of course, like just about every other peg in this kit, I wound up having to open up the holes on the chrome part in order for the pegs of the grill to go through those holes. But of course, in doing that, in opening these up, that takes the chrome off of them so that the glue will hold on there. You can see that I've scraped a little bit of the chrome away on this because in a little test fit I did, that's going to come into contact on the front of the truck here, and I want to be able to put glue in there and have that help hold that in. So anyway, that is our grill. All I did was I painted this thing black, and then I literally took my file and I just filed the paint off of the word Bronco to give it the nice white Bronco lettering that this truck is supposed to have. So there's the grill. The other thing I did was our side view mirrors. I got our side view mirrors assembled. Okay, so these are just the attachment bracket, and then goes onto the bottom of it, and then you've got the chrome lens that goes inside, and so the mirrors are done. All right. Another thing I did is I took the windows off of the sprues for our roof, and I just cleaned them up, and so they're just sitting here. They are ready. All right. So that kind of concludes that little thing. We are on step 16. We finished step 14 and 15 last time, so that's all done. So we're on step 16 now, which of course was the grill. So that's done. Step 17 is our front bumper, and we're going to have a look at that. So, front bumper, I'm going to grab this guy. I have this guy painted black just like he's supposed to. And remember, I mentioned a couple of episodes ago how the kit comes with this bush bar, right, that's supposed to go on here, but I didn't want to install it because my friend's truck doesn't have the bush bar. He has this style of bumper exactly, but no bush bar on it. It's just straight across. So we've got the indents of where this went in here on each side. So what I did is I trimmed off the bar and I put those pieces down to fill those in. And then remember, you guys saw me put on that putty, the gray Tamiya putty, smeared that over there. So after a day, the next day I went and I sanded it down and got it all sanded smooth and everything, and now I've painted it over, and now there's our completed bumper. It's not perfect, but it's good enough that it's a reasonable facsimile, and it looks good enough. This is going to look good on a shelf sitting there, and yeah, so there you go. So we have this piece, number 24, is supposed to go in and fill in behind the grill, behind the bumper there. So let's find that number 24 here. Actually, before I do that, I want to take a look. You know, I did take a picture of the guy's truck. I want to take a look at the picture of the front of his truck to see. It really is hard to tell whether there is anything in there behind that to tell if that's actually there or not, but it's possible. So let's find number 24. Number 24 may be hard to find because I can't seem to find it anywhere. Could be right here. Here we go. Number 24, this guy here. Let me change my glasses so I can see what I'm doing. I gotta see what I'm doing here. Seeing what you're doing really does help when you're trying to do things. If you're trying to do something and you can't see what you're doing, then it's hard to do the thing that you're trying to do. Does that make sense? Got a couple more pieces on that sprue. We're just going to put that there. So this guy's got to go in behind the bumper and kind of hide in behind there, I guess. I'm not sure the purpose of it, but he's going to go in behind here. And as usual, see, he's going onto these pegs and these holes don't fit the pegs. Just about every spot on this kit, I'm having to drill out the holes where they go onto a peg. Just about every one. I can't say every one because that has not been the case. It hasn't been every hole, but a lot of them. That looks like it's on there now. Yep, just sits like that. Sits in behind the grill. It keeps wanting to say grill, behind the grill. Behind the bumper. Trouble with the law since the day they were born. Now on his truck it's really hard to tell in the picture that I have. It's hard to tell if there really is anything there. There could be, maybe there's not. I really don't know. But there is on this kit, so we'll just put it on there and just leave it. Okay, so that's that. That's installed on our bumper. Not our grill, but our bumper. Okay, so that's step 17 done. Step 18 is our mirrors, and that's all done already. They're sitting here waiting for me. Step 19 is the installation of some things. So I guess we're going to grab our windshield wipers, number 28 and 29, to find those guys. Let's see. Here we are. They're already painted black. So let's carefully remove these. I'm guessing I'm going to have to touch them up, especially where they are in contact with the sprue. Okay, and we'll just do this. Last thing on the sprue is our wheel disc brakes, which while I'm at it, I'm going to do a little detail on these. I'm just going to do some panel liner around our calipers here, just to give them that little bit of detail. There's really nothing on this side, so I'll just leave it like that. I think that's good enough, just to give them a little, make that little detail pop a little bit on there, you know? Why not? Okay, let's put those back in the box and that paint can dry. We're going to clean up our wipers. Be careful when you're trimming off the nubs here on our wipers, because wipers in general are fairly delicate. See, like this one is always bent. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with them. Otherwise, next thing you know, you don't have any wipers for your vehicle. And that's not a nice thing. So you gotta be careful. Careful with your wipers. And like I said, I think I'm gonna have to clean up gonna have to touch up the paint on these because they're supposed to be all black. And well, with all the nubs and the cleaning and everything like that, you know, you wind up cleaning away all of your nice black color. Where's my knife? And yeah, now you've got a lot of white exposed. This one looks pretty good. Okay, so there's our wipers. I do need to touch them up, so I'm going to grab some paint and we'll just quickly touch these up, and we'll just leave them to dry for a few minutes before actually installing them. So what I'll do is I'll put them on clips. There we go. So I can do this, paint them up. There we go. So let's just set this aside here. Oh, little spot I missed. There we go. This guy on a clip. Now obviously this edge that's touching the windshield is not going to be that important to get, but you do want to get all sides as much as you can. Okay, so that one's done too. So our wiper blades can just sit and dry for now. I see another spot I missed here. And on this one too. Oh, so now I didn't miss it, it's just wet paint reflecting in the light. Looks like a white spot. Okay. So with that done, we can install our front grille. Is there a rear grille? No. Is there a top grille? No. So why did you mention front grille? I don't know. I don't know. So our grille goes in the front because it's the front grille. And we're going to test this out. Let's push her in there. Seems to fit pretty good. We got a little bit of a space there, but other than that, it's all right. Yeah, if I push on this side, it wants to pop out there. But we get it in straight and hold it, I think we're good. I think I might want to put a little clip here just to help hold it. Let's see. Let's see what kind of a clip I want to use. Can I use one of these? I grab that, put it here. See, I don't want too much pressure on it, but I do want to hold it. And I want it to hold on each edge. See, that's pretty close, but we got a bit of a gap here. I don't like that gap. I want it on the edge. Yeah, like that. Pretty good, solid all the way across there. We got no gap here. We're good. Okay, so applying glue from the back is what we're going to do, and you can see where I mentioned earlier that where the headlight comes back and it's actually touching in there. So that's why I wanted to be able to glue that and not just rely on those 4 little pegs that stick through. Makes sense? It does to me. All right. Glue on the pegs. Glue on that thing. Glue on that thing. Glue on the pegs. And I want to try and get in with that tab where the light is. At the very edge of this, there's a tab that goes in through a hole there on the edge. And that is about it. A little glue on the edge of the grill, just for added measure, and our grill is in. And fortunately, I didn't put it in upside down, so that's good. That's our Bronco sitting like that. All right. All right. So we'll let that sit like that. And with it doing that, we can put on our rear view mirrors, or side view mirrors, I guess. I preemptively took the little bit of the paint off of the tip of the little peg that needs to go in. These just sit in little holes here, and they just sit like that. Now you can put glue in from the bottom. If you're worried about getting glue on the outside here, you can put it in from the bottom. So that's a nice little feature they've done. So you can go doink and put glue on it there and just let it do its thing. We'll do the same on this side. Put that peg through. And just kind of hold it there for a sec while I tip it over. Glue on that peg. There we go. Our side view mirrors are installed. Just like that. Yay. All right. So, our wipers. Because this paint does dry nice and quick, we should be able to put our wipers on them. I say should, because I don't know for sure. And now I've got them mixed up, I don't know which wiper goes where. So we'll try this, test this one out. This one looks like it will be happy going there. Let's see how he sits in the other hole. He's stuck. He's like, I don't want to go. I'm in my home now. Let's try this way. Yeah, he doesn't really like this hole as much. So we're going to put him back in this hole. He seemed to enjoy this one. He liked being in that hole. And you can see where the peg is. The peg doesn't stick through all the way. That's okay. Let's just put a dab of glue there and let go so the glue can do its thing. I can see where the glue is surrounding the peg there now, so that's good. That's one wiper installed. Here's our second one. You know, this one doesn't really want to stay in his home. Oh, now he's on the floor and I didn't see where he fell. Hold on a second. There he is. You know, I have to put one pair of glasses on to see up close and then another to put on to see far away. It looks like I've got a little bit of some flashing or something like that going on the edge of this peg and making it not really want to go in the hole. So let's just kind of clean this up a little bit here. Right on that edge. Okay. Let's try this again. Much better. Fits perfect. So let's hold him there. And that's done. Wiper blades installed. Alright, it's going to be a few minutes for that glue to dry. So obviously I can't do the bumper right now because, well, my big clamps are in the way. So we're going to skip the bumper for now, and we're going to skip to step 20, and we're going to work on our roof. So let's put this aside, and we'll grab our roof. And the roof is quite simply just flip it over and put our windows in. Now obviously these are pretty obvious lefts and rights, is you've got a 90-degree edge and then you've got a slightly chamfered edge, and that's going to designate your lefts and rights. Let's see here, is this correct? Yes, it is. So there's one like that. So I'll just leave it sitting in there, and I'll put a couple of dabs on the corners. Like that. And that's all we're going to do. Okay? And that way we prevent things like gluey fingerprints and all that fun stuff that goes along with you know, the problems of doing glass. Now these are tinted, so don't have to worry about any kind of frosting, vanilla or otherwise. And it looks like this actually goes onto the outside. So, well, sort of. It looks like it tucks in step 21. We'll do that later. Let's get this side in. Okay. Taking advantage of the capillary action of the Tamiya Extra Thin, just touch it and it runs along the edge, and that's done. Okay, so that was step 20. They separate step 20 and 21 from your two side glass pieces of glass to your rear. What is color is Z or Z? Satin black. So they want you to paint these little details on there. So while this is gluing, while this is drying, I might as well paint that. Let's close up our glue. Let's paint our little pieces on here. It's a very small detail, but a detail nonetheless. One of those little details that, you know, probably nobody's going to notice, but you know you did it. Because it's all going to be dark. Your roof is black anyway. This little square thing here, I don't know what this is, but there we go. And we're supposed to paint this little, I don't know, I guess it's the shock for the glass. I'm going to take my glasses off so that I can get this nice and close to my face so I can see. There we go. Okay. Okay, I'll clean up my brush. Put this aside here. I'll clean up my brush. All right, so again, the glass is going in on the inside, but the little latches or hinges need to go on the outside. So they're going to come through Does it really? No. It's not going in on the inside. It sits like that. It sits on the outside. So, I'm going to touch it like that, and I'll put a couple of dabs of glue on the inside here. I'm going to put the glue right where those hinges are. And then a couple in the corners. It's a little bit tricky because you want to get it in there, but you don't want to get it anywhere else. So there we go. There's our third window in. Okay. And our side windows, nicely tinted. There's our roof. Steps 20 and 21 done. Okay. 20 and 21 done. What is next? Next is putting the body onto the chassis and our tires in step 23. While I'm still waiting for the glue to dry on these other pieces, let's assemble our tires. Okay? Let's get our tires put together. I'm sure they are tired of waiting for me. Okay, there's our wheels. Wheels are already painted, including the beadlocks on there. Let's get these off of the sprue. What I did with these is I just primered them with the Mr. Surfacer 1500 black, and then I just sprayed a semi-gloss clear over them to give them that semi-gloss look. Now, I don't think the nubs are on the inside of these wheels are going to be any issue, but you never know. They have them kind of shaped funny, so I don't know if it's going to affect how they go into the tires or not. I don't know. Let's not take any chances, and let's just clean up our nubs like we always do. And there we go. So let's find our tires. I think I have them sitting here, still in their little baggie. Let's see how these things look. Oh, these are really nicely done. There's no seam in the center of them, like you see so often with kit tires. You usually have a seam in the center, but there is no seam on these. Like, these are molded really nicely. Look at that. Look at that. There's no seam. It's a really nice mold. That side's no detail at all. Yeah, there's no detail on the sidewalls, but wow, it looks really good. And they do look like they're going to be, let's see, go like this or like this. They are not directional. No, they're not directional. There's no lefts and rights. It doesn't matter. At least it doesn't look like it. It does not appear to be any lefts and rights. And then we're just going to push our tire rims into the tires. I'm going to go from the back, push them down like that. Okay, so let's see here. Well, that was pretty simple. That's done. But you know what I need to do? I need to make these look like they've been driven on. We don't want fresh showroom tires. So, how do we do that? We do that with sandpaper. Let's find a nice coarse grit sandpaper here. Something that's going to do some damage. How about I can try 400 grit. Let's see what 400 grit does. She's not bad. Just run this on here a little bit. I'll show you guys when I'm done here, the comparison. You got to go around the whole tire. You don't want any spots missing. Okay? If you miss spots, then it just doesn't look right. Now, of course, the more efficient way is to put grab a socket that your tires will fit on and get a drill and just spin the tire as you put it on the sandpaper. Okay, so there's a comparison. The left one has been done, and the right one is just, you know, a tire out of the showroom. So there, it looks a little bit more realistic, like it's actually been driven on. So you do that on all of them, okay? I'll do this on all four, and then we'll come back, okay? Actually, let's see if I can do it the more efficient way. Let me see if I got a socket that'll fit. Let's see if this will work. Yeah. What I could try . That, see if we get a tighter fit. It's not much. That works. I'm not going for worn out look, just used. There we go. Okay, so with that done, I'm gonna leave one tire pristine. I'm gonna leave it like it's brand new. You go, well, why? Well, because that's gonna be our spare tire that goes on the back of the truck. This one's gonna be like brand new. So we're gonna leave that one just the way it is. We've got all of our tires all done, so let's put our wheels in. There we go. So we've got 4 tires that are all a little bit worn, okay? And then one is brand new because that just sits on the back of the truck and it's brand new. Okay, so there's our tires done. Let's put these aside. Tires are done. Let's have a look at our grill. It's been now, what, 15-20 minutes? Let's see if this will hold. She's holding well. I think we can put our bumper on. So our bumper, 2 pegs go into those holes. Let's see if they fit. It's a tight, yeah, one side fits, the other doesn't. And that could just be a load up of paint. It's probably just a load up of paint. I'll just open up this hole a little bit, ever so slightly. Still don't want to go. Oh, there we go. We're in. Okay. Just make sure she's all the way in. All right. So we can put some glue on there. I'm not only relying on the pegs to hold the bumper on. I put a little bit so the glue will go along the edge. Just like that. So there we go, we've got our front bumper on. Bingo, just like that. Now, this truck is a truck in British Columbia, Canada, so we have to put a front license plate on this. This kit does not come with any license plates other than the decals, so that doesn't actually come with an actual plate, template to put on. So I've cut one out of styrene. I just grabbed one of these little styrene strips and I cut it, and I have a license plate. I've got it back here on an alligator clip. We're going to put this on a little bit later on. Okay, got a little license plate going on there. I'll put that on the back. Okay, so step 19 is now finished with the bumper on. Step 20 and 21. So 21 we can put the roof on, but we're not gluing the roof. The roof just sits on like this and sits nicely, and that is it. We have our roof. That's the way she's going to look forever, and or pretty much forever. Anyway, that's that. There's our roof. Flip it over. We can unfold here. And we do the big task of lining this up. Now, I tried test fitting this thing before, and this is going to be a tough little task to do, getting all these lined up, because we have, on our chassis, we've got these little pegs here on the top of each wheel well, here, here, and here, and they're supposed to line up. I know, sorry, it's blurry. They're there, and same spot there. Okay, those 4 pegs or holes are supposed to line up on these pegs on inside the body. Now, I did try a test fit and it was tough, so I might wind up spending a good 20 minutes here just trying to get this assembled like this, because it is a tight fit and she don't like to line up very well. I think what I want to do is maybe put some glue onto my pegs prematurely, so that when they do eventually line up, maybe I got some glue actually doing some gluing action by the time we get there. Of course, that might be 20 minutes from now, but I don't know. But it will have at least softened the plastic in preparation for it to, well, to do something. Okay, so those things are glued. We've got glue applied to them. All right. Our big challenge here. Separate the body apart to fit. She's got to tuck in. It's a bit tough with the bumper here and our front fenders. And of course, we've got all of our, you know what? It would have been easier to do all this without all the accessories on the body, because now, you know, I've got to get this tucked in here behind the bumper. And of course, that's going to move the bumper. Why do they have us put the bumper on first? That's ridiculous. Bumper's coming off. Bumper's going to go on last. That was just stupid to have to put the bumper on. Okay, we're almost in. Oh, now that came off. My fender flare came off. We're kind of in, but kind of not. almost impossible to see inside to see how if it's lining up. I want to say no, we're not there yet. Oh, there we go. We're in on that corner. I think we're in on the front. Except we're crooked, so it can't be. Maybe because we're not in on the back. It looks like we're crooked. Does that look crooked? It looks crooked to me. I think I got a bigger gap here than I do here. But yet our wheel wells, that's flush here. And we're flush, no, we're actually tucked in on this side. There we go. My fender flare is popped off here, not holding well enough. And we've popped out at the back here. We almost need clamps to hold this thing in. And then we've popped out here, there we go. We're in front and back. But I need clamp, I need something to hold this. But not too tightly. Same with the front. I want to hold this like this and then apply some glue on our fender wells just to hold this in. Let's and of course I got to be careful with my mirrors. That's another thing. They had me put the mirrors on, but I want to rest it on the mirrors kind of thing, which is not good. We don't want to rest it on the mirrors. I'm going to try applying a little bit of glue here and here, just to see where it goes, and maybe at the back here too, where it's connecting. And I'm going to grab my big clamp. You got a big clamp? You're going to put a big clamp on it? Yeah. So there's my big clamp. Okay, I'm going to use this. And we're going to clamp it here. It's not really, I'm not really clamping, I just want to hold it. I just want just enough to hold it for me. I want it tight enough that it could like maybe hold the truck up in the air for me. Like that's just good enough for me. It's just holding it so that I can focus on the front here, because we're not quite in on the front. We were in on the front. The front needs to be held as well. If I had another clamp that would be great, but I don't. I need to re-glue this one fender flare because she came apart.
Okay, again, we're going to try in the wheel well here. I'm not sure what, if any, contact I've got going on the actual wheel wells. Or maybe back here in the frame, or it might be touching the body, I don't know. Oop, it just came off. I obviously didn't have my clamp very tight. I've got a point where it's contacting right here. I'm going to apply some glue. I think the back is holding enough that it's good enough. It's holding enough that it's good enough. Yeah, that makes sense. It's just a matter of the front staying where it's supposed to. I think we're at a point where it's going to hold. I don't think the rear wheel wells, they're not touching at all here. This one might have a little contact here, I don't know, but it looks like back here only. Maybe just at the little tip there is the only point of contact. And the same with the front. It's touching up here at the front, at the very front, and at the very back here. We got contact there, but that's it. Those are our holding points. My stupid fender well doesn't want to stay. So just wait. Okay. Let's put her down on her belly here. With that, I think we can put our bumper back on. Put the bumper back in its spot. We're going to just apply some glue along here. So we already had it in place. Just put her back. There. There we go. Okay, that's done. Now our wheels, we got these little caps that are supposed to go on, but our brakes go on first. It says glue the wheel retainer to the wheel and then snap onto the axle as a unit. So they want us to glue these little cups to the wheels. Well, not cups, but they're little donuts. If this was a Tamiya kit, those would be probably polycaps. Let's find those things. You know, looking at these things all this time, wondering what these were going to be for. Let's take one off of here. And I guess this just goes in here. So they want us to just glue those in like that first. Okay. I'm going to do this with one, just because I'm skeptical of this working. Just use this to make sure it's pushed down. Okay. Alright, so that's done. Let's grab a disc brake, number 88. We'll do this once, and then I'll do the rest of them off camera. You don't need to watch me do this 4 times, right? So there's one. We're just going to make sure it's cleaned up, because this part is not going to be, this is not something that's really going to be seen. So you might know, you'll notice the slot is longer on one edge towards the caliper than the other, and that's your indicator of how it's supposed to go. But your calipers are going to be going towards the rear. Okay, your calipers go towards the rear of the truck. So this is number 88. This is for the front. And it's supposed to go on like this. It's a little bit tight, but sits just like that. So we can put some glue onto that. Just back in there. And that's good enough to hold that there. Okay. And we have our wheel, and our wheel is basically just supposed to go snap and snap into place there. But this has just been glued. So that's going to be next time. Alright? We're almost done. We're almost finished. Because after this, we've got some more detailed stuff here. So we're supposed to put number 27 into that, and to put our rear our spare tire on onto this guy. Of course, they happen, of all the pieces they don't undergate. It would have been awesome to have this undergated so that you don't have that big nub up top there, because that's supposed to go on right here like this and be totally exposed, and you can see the top there. Like, that is terrible. And then of course this is your third brake light, so you should have, you know, that should be have a red lens or something like that on it. That would have been great too. That's basically the last of it. Or at least, you know, maybe have a decal, something. I am going to clean off this edge. Like that. It's not perfect. But what I'm going to do is get some, to me, a clear red. I'm going to cheat. I'm not even going to use a brush. I'll just do that. Okay, now our spare tire, this nice clean one, is going to go on here, like so, just like that. And then we're supposed to take number 27, and glue them together. So let's see here. I think that's number 27, this guy right here. It's really hard to see that number. It looks like a 27. It's just a little tiny peg. Although that's going to fit through here like this, but how it fits into here, oh, it just slides on through. Okay. It's a little weird because it's got a flat spot on it, as if it's supposed to be notched or something like that, but it's really just nothing to it. So we're just going to put some glue in here, like this, And we're going to put glue on our shaft. Put the tire on. Come on. There we go. And drop him in. And we'll put just a little bit more. There we go. And so there's our spare tire on his thing, and I will touch that up a little bit later. Okay, let's try our first tire here. We're going to try this. Line that up like that and press this on. Do I feel a nice... I don't feel a nice snap. And I'm sure if I try to take this off now, it's gonna just unglue itself. Totally. How about that, eh? That's a nice look, isn't it? Well, it didn't pull that out, so that's good. So that tells me we need to wait longer before putting the wheels on. And considering the amount of time I've got left, I think this is where we're just going to have to let it sit and wait. Okay, so that's just the way it's going to be. We're just going to have to wait and yeah, let the glue dry before we do any more. So with that being said, I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for joining me, and yeah, leave a comment down below if you like this stuff. I'd like to hear from you, and hit the like button and subscribe too if you haven't already. That would be really good. It looks to me like my computer is lagging. I really hope that my audio is matched with my mouth, because what I'm seeing on the camera is not. So yeah, anyway, thanks guys for watching, and we'll see you all in the next one.